Time and Tide, the Australian Watch Authority.
If there's one thing that watch nerds these days like to get up in arms about, it is the Apple Watch. But since it arrived on the market, the Apple Watch has become one of the biggest selling watches in the world. Huge numbers, huge volumes, hugely important. So we can't ignore it. It's not going to go away. We might as well have a closer look at it. Which is exactly what I've been doing on and off for the last few months. I've been trying out the new, well not so new, Apple Watch Series 3 Edition in grey ceramic. And really, instead of doing a traditional review, you all know about this watch, you all know what it can do, you've all got iPhones. There's 5 key points about this that stand out to me. First of all, the ceramic case. I'm a big fan of the Apple Watch case. It's a smart piece of design. It works with the constraints that they have to work with. And for one thing, you can change the straps ridiculously easily. That alone is worth the price of entry. But what's also great with this edition version is that it's ceramic. It's not the white ceramic of the last edition, which is still available. It's this sort of dark grey, like space grey ceramic that I think really suits, it's a bit more understated, and it's that sort of tough, lightweight material really suits the Apple Watch as a sports, instrument. It also, interestingly for the watch guy, this retails at about 1,800 Aussie dollars. So it's maybe one of the easier ways to sort of try ceramic as a material before you, leap into a dark side of the moon or whatever it is. The second best thing about the Apple Watch, and I'm going to be controversial here, isn't the watch itself. It's these little guys, AirPods. AirPods, on the face of it, they seem like, $200 Bluetooth buds that, you kind of still look a bit weird walking around the street with. But in reality, they're super useful. You can just have one, it goes to mono, you have two, it goes to stereo, you can Hey Siri them, and with the watch, it's just a killer combination. Which brings me to the third thing. Traditionally, the Apple Watch, you've had to have one of these pretty close to it for it to do anything meaningfully. With this one, with its cellular capability, that's what the little like red dot there means, you don't need this. You can leave it at home. You can go for a walk, you can, you leave it at the office over lunch, you can still take calls, you can ignore calls, you can, use data, you can get messages, all that stuff. And for me, that's the real game changer. It's turning what's, a glorified phone extension into a fully fledged device on its own, and we're getting really into Dick Tracy territory now. My only problem with it is that I wanted to sort of just exist without my phone all the time, and I hope that this watch could let me do that. Not quite there, but that's not any fault of the technology. It's probably got to do more with my dependence on the phone. So give me a few years and I'll be ready. Hey Siri, what's the weather like tomorrow?
It should be nice tomorrow, up to 15 degrees and sunny.
And next up, Siri. Siri gets more accurate with every generation. It gets more speedy and it can do more things. I think, if you've ever been on the fence with voice activation, give Siri a go, work it out. It'll change your life in small but in meaningful ways. But not everything's positive with this watch. There's a few things that I found odd or that you should be aware of before going into. First up, this is very much an Apple product. That means it's part of the Apple ecosystem. Works great with these. Only really works with this. And that extends to the software. Works well with Apple Music, works well with iMessage, but if you're like me and you are addicted to WhatsApp, if you're a Spotify sort of person, you can still use it, but it's not as good. Like, you don't have that true native watch support. You can get notifications from WhatsApp on your phone and you can control Spotify, but you can't play them just from your watch. And finally, one thing that I found odd, it's not a deal breaker by any means, is the lack of a native podcast app. Podcasts are, trending like wildfire in 2018, so I find it bizarre that there's no Apple Watch native podcast app. There's third-party solutions like Overcast, but to me, the ability to listen to your, catch up on your favourite show while just having a bit of a walk or on the train or whatever, it seems like a no-brainer. So there you have it. That's what I think of the Apple Watch Edition Series 3. It's not going to replace my love of mechanical watches, but I've been wearing it on and off for a few months and I enjoy it every time. Does it frustrate me sometimes? Yes. Is it things like batteries deal breakers? No. So again, Apple Watch, it's here to stay.